Before the good night becomes something neither of them rushes through, make sure you're still here. Subscribe to Emo Saga for grounded, sensual romances where every moment builds naturally, and every ending makes sense. The goodbye is supposed to be final. That's how it usually works. You say it, mean it just enough to be polite, and then you leave before the moment stretches into something harder to name. I say it clearly. Good night. He smiles, easy and familiar. Good night. I turn away. I make it 3 steps. That's all. 3 measured, reasonable steps that should have carried me forward without hesitation. Instead, something pulls tight in my chest. Not panic, not regret. Just awareness. The quiet realization that I'm leaving too quickly. That the moment hasn't actually finished yet. I slow. Then I stop. Behind me I hear him shift. Not approaching. Just noticing. The driveway is dim, lit by a single porch light that casts long shadows across the pavement. The house behind us is quiet now, the gathering finished, the noise of the evening settled into memory. I don't turn back right away. I don't need to. I can feel him there. You okay? He asks gently. Yes, I say. But I don't move. We've known each other long enough that silence doesn't feel like a mistake. Friends of friends at first. Casual overlaps. Conversations that never crossed into something deliberate, but never stayed completely neutral either. He's always been attentive without being intrusive, steady without being distant. I've always noticed that. I thought you'd already left, he says after a moment. I almost did, I reply. The honesty surprises me with how calm it feels. I turn around then. Slowly. Not like I've been caught. Like I've decided something. He's standing exactly where I left him. Hands relaxed at his sides, expression open. Not expectant, not guarded. Just present. This is the part where it gets awkward. I say lightly. It doesn't have to, he replies. That steadiness is familiar. Reassuring. The space between us feels deliberate now. Not accidental. Charged in a quiet way. I didn't mean to make it weird, I say. You didn't, he answers. You just paused. I don't usually do that. Yes, you do, he says gently. You just don't always notice. I blink. I don't. No, he says. But you always check in with yourself before you leave. The observation lands deeper than expected. I take a small step closer. Not enough to cross the line. Enough to test the space. He doesn't move back. You could have walked away, I say. So could you, he replies. The symmetry steadies me. The night air is cool, brushing against my arms. I fold them loosely, more out of habit than need. He notices immediately. You're cold, he says. A little. He steps closer, not abruptly, not invading. Just enough that his body blocks the breeze, warmth radiating subtly. The difference is immediate. Intentional. Better, he asks. Yes, I say quietly. I don't move away. Neither does he. This should still be simple. 2 people lingering. Nothing promised. Nothing crossed. But the longer we stand here, the clearer it becomes that this is no longer accidental. I didn't plan to stop, I admit. I know, he replies. But I'm glad you did. The words don't feel heavy. They feel honest. I glance down briefly, then back up at him. This doesn't mean anything dramatic, I say. It doesn't have to, he agrees. We don't have to decide anything tonight. That matters. More than he knows. He lifts his hand slowly, not to grab, not to assume. It hovers for a moment, giving me space to stop it. I don't. His hand settles at my waist. Warm, steady, unmistakable. The contact sends a quiet awareness through me. Not shock. Recognition. I exhale slowly. You didn't ask, I murmur. I was about to, he replies. But you leaned in. I realize then that I have. Just slightly. Enough to answer. If this isn't okay, he begins. It is, I say. The certainty in my voice surprises me. He stills immediately, reading me, making sure. Then his hand stays exactly where it is. The porch light hums softly overhead. Somewhere down the street, a car passes, headlights briefly illuminating us before moving on. The world continues. We don't. This feels different, I say. Yes, he agrees. But not sudden. No, I reply. It feels overdue. That makes him smile faintly. I didn't want to assume, he says. I know. And I didn't want to rush you. You didn't. I rest my hand lightly against his forearm, not pulling him closer, just acknowledging the contact. His breath deepens. You're very calm, he says. So are you. Because this doesn't feel like a mistake, he adds. No, I agree. It doesn't. The space between us closes another inch. Not because either of us steps forward. Because neither of us steps back. This was supposed to be a good night, I say softly. Yes. And now? He meets my gaze fully. Now it feels like the moment after, he replies. Where we decide whether we leave or stay a little longer. The words settle. Grounding. I tilt my head slightly, close enough now to feel the warmth of him. He doesn't kiss me. Not yet. Instead, his forehead rests briefly against mine. A gesture so intimate it stills my breath completely. You don't have to stay, he murmurs. I know. But you are. Yes. The certainty feels quiet, not overwhelming. I don't know what this becomes yet. But I know why I turn back. I lift my gaze to his again. Don't let go, I say softly. His hand tightens just a fraction at my waist. I won't, he replies. The night stretches around us unhurried. The goodbye has already passed. And whatever comes next hasn't been named yet. But it's already begun. I don't remember deciding to stay. I remember realizing I already had. His hand is still at my waist, warm and steady, not pulling, not claiming, just present. The porch light above us hums softly. A low, constant sound that feels almost intimate in the quiet. The night air has cooled, but the space between us feels warm in a way that has nothing to do with temperature. Neither of us moves. And that's when I understand this isn't hesitation. It's intention. I don't usually change my mind once I've said goodnight. I say quietly. I know, he replies. That's why I didn't stop you. I look at him. But you didn't leave either. No, he says. Because I wanted you to turn back if you were going to. The honesty settles something deep in my chest. We stand there for another moment, close enough now that the rest of the world feels distant. Contained behind windows and doors and polite endings that no longer apply. You're very patient, I say. I try to be, he answers. Especially when something matters. And this does. I ask. Yes, he says without hesitation. The certainty isn't overwhelming. It's grounding. That's what surprises me the most. A breeze moves through the driveway again, brushing past us. This time I don't shiver. I'm already close enough that his body shields me. The warmth of him subtle but undeniable. I don't want this to be complicated, I say. It doesn't have to be, he replies. We don't have to decide what this is tonight. And you're okay with that? Yes, he says. I'd rather do this slowly than do it wrong. That's the moment something clicks into place. Not desire, I already feel that. Trust. I step closer. Not abruptly. Not nervously. Just close enough that my body aligns with his naturally. Like it's always known where it belongs in this space. His hand shifts slightly at my waist. Not tightening, just adjusting to the new distance. You're very sure, he murmurs. So are you, I reply. Because you're not pulling away. Neither are you. He leans in then, but not to kiss me. Instead, his forehead rests lightly against mine again. A quiet pause that feels more intimate than anything else we could do. I like that you stopped, he says softly. I like that you didn't rush me, I answer. We breathe there together for a moment, sharing the stillness. When he finally kisses me, it's slow, deliberate, unhurried. Not the kind of kiss that tries to take anything, just one that confirms what's already been decided. I respond easily, my hands sliding up to rest against his chest, fingers curling lightly into the fabric of his jacket. His other hand comes up to my back, warm and grounding, holding me close without urgency. The kiss doesn't escalate. It settles. When we part, it's because we choose to, not because the moment breaks. That felt. I search for the word. Right, he says quietly. I smile. Yes. Exactly. We don't rush to do anything else. Instead, we lean back slightly, still close, arms relaxed around each other in a way that feels familiar already. I should probably go now, I say. Yes, he agrees. Still, neither of us moves. We both laugh softly at that. Walk with me to the end of the driveway, I suggest. Of course, he says. We move together slowly, hands brushing, sometimes intertwining without either of us making a big deal out of it. The street is quiet now, the gathering behind us fully dissolved into memory. At the end of the driveway, we stop again. Another pause. Another choice. I don't want this to be something that only exists in moments like this. I say. It won't be, he replies. Not if we don't let it. And you want more than moments? I ask. Yes, he says. But I want them to make sense. That matters. It matters more than intensity ever could. I nod. Coffee, I say. He smiles. Daytime. Yes. When? Soon, I reply. Not rushed. Just soon. He nods. I like that. We exchange numbers, the action simple and unceremonious. No dramatics. No performative premises. Just intention. Before I leave, he leans in again, pressing a gentle kiss to my cheek, this time warm, affectionate, grounding. Drive safe, he says. I will. And thank you, he adds. For what? For turning back, he says. I smile. Thank you for being worth it. I walk away this time, not because the moment pushes me out, but because it's complete. I don't look back. I don't need to. The next day, coffee is easy. Bright sunlight spills across the table between us, revealing nothing awkward, nothing fragile. We talk the way people do when something has already settled quietly into place, about work routines, things that matter and things that don't. You're exactly the same, he says at one point. So are you, I reply. That's a relief. It is. Weeks pass. The connection grows steadily, without fireworks or confusion. We see each other in ordinary spaces. Cafes, sidewalks, quiet evenings where nothing dramatic needs to happen for the moment to feel meaningful. Sometimes we say goodnight quickly. Sometimes we linger. But now when I turn back, it's because I want to. One evening much later, we're saying goodbye again outside a restaurant. Different street. Different night. Same quiet pause. I take a step away. Then another. I stop. He smiles knowingly. You're doing it again. I laugh softly. I know. This time when I turn back, he's already moving toward me. Not rushing, not assuming. Just meeting me halfway. Some moments don't change your life because they're dramatic. They change it because they're honest. Ours began with a good night that didn't quite fit, and a decision to listen to what came after. I didn't turn back because I was unsure. I turned back because I finally knew.